The Tapr report stands for Texas Academic Performance Reports. This is a compilation of major data points to serve as a monitoring tool for districts. It puts a spotlight on different areas to identify strengths and weaknesses. I will be sharing with you a high-level overview of each section and its purpose. This first area is STAR performance rates by tested grade, subject, and performance level. Each grade level has a section for subject areas tested, performance levels by state, region, district, and subpopulations. This data demonstrates a comparison between subpops to monitor equity and look at any disparities. The data shows at what level is the majority of students performing and gives a springboard to dig deeper into the roots. So for example, if you look at grade 3 reading, the state's performance is at 67, the district at 56. This shows that we as a district are underperforming at this performance level. Also as a district, there's a big disparity between all students at the approaches level in special education. If you look at the district at 56% and you move to the right underneath each special population, you will notice that each group so far is very comparable until you get to the special ed subpop group. This leads us into deeper investigations using local benchmarks, classroom observations, and special services on how we could better serve these students. As you scroll down in the report, we will be looking at the school progress domain or academic growth score by grade and subject area. Each subject area and grade level is represented by a percentage that shows the improvement year after year. This is important because it represents the rate of learning for students and if growth is occurring. The data demonstrates a comparison between your subpops to monitor equity and look for any disparities. The data shows at what level is the majority of our students performing and gives us a springboard to dig deeper into roots. Questions you may consider is why is one subgroup growing faster than the other? Do we have appropriate staff serving special populations? What areas are the weakest? Why is one grade level or content area stronger than the other? So these are some questions that you can use to investigate deeper. As we move on in the report, the next area is your bilingual education or your English as a second language. So this data represents how our ESL students are performing at each subject level and performance level. Things to consider is trends. How do we as a district rate to the state? Also, how does our students compare with students how does our ESL students compare that are receiving services to our students who are not receiving services? Is there any benefit to receiving ESL services? So these are questions that we can ask ourselves. The next section is the STAR participation. This shows the percentage of enrolled students who participated in the STAR. So this is your denominator for your computations. Questions to consider are our students showing up for tests? Do we see any trends? The next section reviews the attendance, graduation, and dropout rates. This is important because it shows if our efforts taken for attendance is being effective. Again, questions to consider. Do you see any trends? Are we being proactive? Is there an incline or is there a decline in specific groups? Are our strategies being effective? Do we need to revise them? Again, it opens up a segue for investigation. The next section looks at your graduation profile. Again, it's helpful to look if one sub-pop is outperforming the other. Are our students graduating with or what type of graduation plan are our students graduating with? Is there a certain population or special programs that needs to be addressed? Again, these are springboards for deeper investigation. The college, career, and military readiness. This data is important because it shows if students are meeting the CCMR indicators. Do we see any trends? Are there any disparities? What area of CCMR are our students excelling or not excelling? How can we improve? The next section is our student information. This is important for ADA calculations and also for personnel positions. How do we rank or compare against the state? Is there certain grade levels that have higher enrollment than others? Do we see an increase or a decline in certain populations or special programs? Do we also see a decline or incline of students by instructional programs with disabilities? Do we have the appropriate personnel in these areas? Retention. Is our retention rates higher than the state averages? Why? Class sizes. Is this a factor that's impacting instruction? Then you move down to the staff information section. This is important because it shows the representation of our staff. It highlights the years of experience, and this is important because it can help aid in specific professional development, especially for your novice teachers. Or it can highlight teachers who may be in the retirement span and help us plan for new teachers. It also highlights the percentages of students teachers in special programs. Again, questions to consider. Are special programs being served by appropriate teachers? The Tapr report is important because it does identify major data points, and it does help districts in the planning process. It also helps with student achievement so that we can see what areas are lacking or what areas to grow from. Thank you.